Hello, my name is Tom Gallagher, and I am your child's Global Studies teacher this year. And I just wanted to take a few minutes of your time to introduce myself, as well as walk you through my Schoology homepage and talk a little bit about how Global Studies will be set up this year. So the first thing we are looking at is our materials page on Schoology. This is the most important page on Schoology, as this is where all of our information for the class will come from. So the first two things on this page are our Zoom links. The first one is our Cohort C Zoom link. So this is the link that your child will follow if they are in Cohort C to Zoom with me in the afternoon, along with the schedule that they should be following. The second folder here is our morning drop-in Zoom link. I am fortunate enough to be able to meet on Zoom with all of my students, regardless of cohort, between the hours of 8:30 a.m. and 11 a.m. on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. So if your child is at home working on their global during those hours and they have a question, they can feel free, and I highly encourage students to use this to drop in and ask me any questions so that they can get back to their work and find some success and hopefully complete it in an appropriate time. The next thing I would like to point out on our page has to do with our weekly schedule. So first thing I would like to mention is that regardless of what cohort your child is in, whether they are in A, B, or C, all cohorts work on the same materials at the same time. So if we take a look at this week's folder, today is October 27th. I would look at the October 22nd through 28th folder. And you'll see that I have all of the week's materials posted in here, along with a document that shows students what to do each day of the week. So my hope here is that students will use this document as a checklist and cross things off as they complete them so that they can be sure that they are completing assignments in their entirety and also submitting them on time. So you'll see that I have all of the requirements for Thursday, all of the requirements for Friday, for Monday, for Tuesday, and for Wednesday. After looking at this, I do want to point out that our weeks do run from Thursdays through Wednesdays, so all of our dates will follow a Thursday through Wednesday weekly plan. The next thing that we will always have in these folders are instructional videos for any assignments that we might be working on. So if I take a look at our October 8th through 14th folder, this was the last time I posted an assignment for students to complete, and they had about 2 weeks to do this assignment. This was our Adopt a Country postcard assignment. And if you take a look at this weekly folder, there are 4 different videos on here for students to watch to learn how to do that assignment successfully. In these videos, you may see myself, you may see Mr. Rosine and Mr. Martini. Those are 2 of my colleagues that also teach global studies. And we always will have videos posted for students to watch so that they know how they are supposed to do any of the assignments that we are assigning them. So I do encourage you as a parent to make sure your student is watching these in their entirety so that they know that what they're supposed to do, when they are due, and what they need to have in their assignments to make sure that they are complete. The next thing I'd like to talk a little bit about is the gradebook tab on Schoology, and that tab is right here. And if you click on that tab, you will see that all students have their grades posted, and everything in the gradebook is kept up to date as much as I possibly can. All that I ask is that if your student does have some late work, that they please send me an email just telling me they turned something in late. That's mostly so that I know I can go back and give them a grade on that project. The next thing I would like to talk about is a little bit about how Global Studies is going to be pairing with English and Communications class if your student is taking COM. We are doing this with the hope to reduce some stress and anxiety on students in this very uncertain school year. So our plan is to assign one project for students to use in 3 different classes. For example, earlier this year, the first assignment we did was a piece of writing where students had to choose an issue in the world that they cared about. They got a grade on that piece of writing in Global Studies, in English, and in Communications. Our hope is that rather than trying to keep track of 3 different assignments, they can keep track of one assignment that will count 3 different times in 3 different classes. And the last thing I would just like to ask is that you please partner with me and simply just check in with your student from time to time and ask them how Global Studies is going. I'm not asking you to sit down and do the schoolwork with your student, but just simply have a conversation so that you know that your student is keeping up with their work in global studies. If you have any questions for me after watching this video and you'd like to talk, please feel free to reach out to me via email. My email address is tom.gallagher@district196.org. Thanks for your time, and again, please feel free to reach out with any questions.